Welcome back, everyone, to the Las Vegas Social Media Show. We have a very special guest with us today, Khalilah Yasmin. She is a writer, blogger, and model. Khalilah is a writer of music lyrics, short stories, poetry, and has been writing since she could hold a pen. Her mother claims that as a 2-year-old, she wrote stories in scribble that only she could read, yet read them passionately to others as if she was reading actual words. She became a published author of Esoteric Calligraphy, a collection of story poetry. Yasmin is also a freelance model, uses arts in all forms as a way of self-expression. She is currently seeking an agent so that she may conquer her book writing dreams. Yasmin also writes journalism articles and is in the works of writing her own screenplay as we speak. Khalilah, welcome to the Las Vegas Social Media Show.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. Now, you have a really cool story coming out to Las Vegas. Could you start us off by telling us how you ended up out here?
Let's see, where should I start? Well, my mother, she's been here since 2004, and I hated Nebraska. Sorry, Nebraska. It's just really cold there. There's really nothing to do in entertainment there, and I've always been a writer, so I've always been passionate about that. Vegas is the entertainment mecca, so I felt like here I'd be a lot closer to beautiful California and my mother. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, was Hollywood ever in the picture? Did you ever think Hollywood before? Because that's what I used to think of. Well, I got to be in LA.
Well, see, the thing is like, I've always loved California since I was a child. So whenever I tell people that, they're like, oh, you want to move to California to do acting or do this or do that? And I'm like, no, it just happens to be Hollywood. You know what I mean? So
Right. Sunshine and palm trees is nice no matter what you're into, I guess.
Exactly.
Now, tell us how you got into writing. I know you write a lot, so how did that all happen?
Actually, writing is a DNA gift.
Really?
My father and his whole family were writers. That's actually how I came into creation. My father had a traveling theater company around Nebraska, and that's how my mother met him. So him and his brothers would travel, film. He was an actor, director, and writer of the plays. And yeah, so I inherited the gift. It's kind of cool.
The stuff you started writing, was it more poetry? Were you writing stories, or were you just writing anything?
Well, when I was younger, I wrote more stories. And then as I got older, I just wrote poetry because it was quicker and I had more life to do. So yeah. But I'm finally working on a screenplay, so I'm like really proud about that.
Tell us about that. What about the screenplay?
Well, the thing about that is I thought I could only write in novel form, but a friend of mine had been sending me screenplays to read to help him with another project. And one day I was sitting down and I was trying to write in novel form, and all of a sudden I couldn't write in novel form anymore. It just came out in screenplay, and I was like, oh, finally. So yeah.
It's a good feeling. And now for me, writing's a little tougher. Like, I'm more of a video person, but you seem to write very well, and you can write a lot. So what is it you like most about writing, that form of expression, I guess?
I'm a passionate person, so I feel like I express myself better in written word. Like, even if I have a conflict with someone, I have to write it down so I can get my thoughts out, get them clear, concise, and they make sense better when I'm writing. I mean, I'm speaking now, and I'm making kind of sense, right?
Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. So is it kind of a way you can write everything down and, I don't know, kind of vent, make better decisions, maybe before jumping in or saying something you're not going to want to say?
I feel like it's
keep it to
that,
yourself. Yeah.
And also just I express myself better. There's words I use better written than thinking it out.
Makes sense. Now, you're also a model out here, but we were talking
Correct.
before the show, and writing's what got you into modeling.
Correct.
Can you tell us about that?
I perform spoken word. So back in Nebraska, I was at a spoken word competition. I got third place. But anyway, and there was a photographer there, like, shooting the event. And he was like, would you mind if I, like, took some pictures of you? And I was like, I'm not a model, really.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was pretty enough to be a model. But, yeah. So, and then that actually networked into more things because of social media. So it's pretty cool.
So you are on social media a lot.
I love social media.
You love social media. You definitely do. And in fact, that's how we met. I think we were Facebook friends before we ever met in person. How are you using social media incorporating with your writing?
I feel like it's all about networking and branding yourself. If people know what you do, they're more likely to introduce you to other things that you may be able to do or give you other opportunities to do more. That's how I met you. That's how I met a lot of people. That's how I met my friend that's got me looking at other screenplays and developing my gift more. It's all about networking. I feel like networking is also another term for the law of attraction. You attract what you're into. So that networking field is like it just keeps going.
Just keeps going now. Is there a specific platform that's your favorite out of all of them?
I'd say Facebook, because on Twitter, you have to be followed back by that person to message them.
Right.
And I don't like having public conversations. Like, if I want to talk to you, I want to talk to you privately. You know what I mean? So.
Now, one thing I will say, I think I told you this before, but your tweets, although short, are very, very insightful. I swear to you, true story. I was driving. Well, don't drive and tweet. I shouldn't publicize this, but I can't even remember what it was. But
you were at a stoplight.
I was at a stoplight now that I think about it. Yes, that's where I was. And it may be 140 characters long, but your writing's just so good. Like, it's a quick, instead of reading 3-4 pages, I'm able to just read a quick little blurb, but I got a lot out of it. So do you feel like mediums such as Twitter is a way you can expose your writing maybe to people with less attention spans?
Yes, because the thing is, it's like I'll tweet something different than my updates on Facebook. And some people don't look at it. They're like, why do you tweet? I'm like, I'm a writer. It's another form of expression for me. Right. Like, I'm not sitting there saying, oh, brushing my teeth, sitting on toilet. Like, I'm actually like trying to say something to influence thought processes.
Absolutely. So you don't connect your Twitter to your Facebook?
No.
No.
Because people wouldn't understand. Like, there's just a different dynamic there. Like, I feel like I have a different personality on each one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Definitely. Portraying different things on different platforms.
Anyone that follows me on both of them would know that. They'd be like, you post different things here. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Now, modeling. Can you take us through the Las Vegas modeling scene for people that don't know?
It's interesting. It's really all about networking here too. Like, the more people you work with, the more opportunities you have, and it's really about finding that good network, because a lot of girls here are different. I'll use that word. They're different. And they make it more competitive than it has to be. You just have to find your lane and ride it out. Find your lane and go.
Stick to that niche.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific type of event you like modeling at the best? Or
I really like special events. I do a lot of work at MGM, where I'm like doing poker events, baccarat. What else do I like? I like the shoots a lot, commercials. I like anything where I can be creative and make people smile.
And congrats on your recent Billboard success. Can you tell us about that? In 7 magazine as well.
Yes. That's for Gallery Nightclub at Planet Hollywood. 12 girls were chosen for the shoot. There's like 3 billboards up right now.
Wow.
So like when I drive past that, I'm like, wow, I used to be called ugly.
People called, no, there's no way.
No, yes.
Oh, that can't be. And I would think modeling in Vegas, you have probably seen some of the most unique stories and scenes ever. So has that inspired into your writing? I'm sure you've gotten a lot of material to work with from...
So this is actually kind of funny. So like sometimes when I'm on shoots or just different events or just there, I almost feel like God put me there so I could have these stories to like incorporate into writing. I feel like a spy. I feel like this is like a disguise to get me into those places.
Very
that
interesting.
Makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. You kind of just blew my mind on camera right there. That makes a lot of sense. Is there anyone that particularly stands out that you can name?
Any what?
Story?
Oh, there's so many. Somebody asked me this yesterday, and I just couldn't narrow it down. I was just like, anything you can imagine, I have seen. Anything.
It's Vegas. Use your imagination, everybody.
Anything.
Now, what I also think is very interesting about you is your psychology background.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, actually, I've been doing psychology for 3 years.
Okay.
But I really feel like I've been studying it my whole life because people have always fascinated me. And as a writer, I'm just fascinated with people. That's what my basis is for my motivational blogs, and that's what my basis is for the stories I write. I just want to reach out to people, understand people, and relate to people. So when I chose to go into psychology, it was more so to help people. But I felt like I've been studying psychology for years before the degree. So, yeah.
And what I think is interesting, and I want to get your perspective on, is the psychological study of social media. Because I feel that people have just, they don't even know they're doing it. Or
yes.
And companies are, because they're making money off
right.
of it and market research and all that. So what's your take from a psychological point of view with social media?
There are people I study, and there's certain dynamics where you can see, like, this person has this type of personality, or they're more likely to do this or that, if you know what I mean. Like, right. You follow certain posts. I actually, not to give myself away, but there's something I do to, like, trick people because I know this dynamic, so I'll post things that have nothing to do with me, so to speak, so to confuse people a little bit so they can never figure me out.
It's like a hidden profile or a made-up character of some sort? Catfish?
No, no, God, no.
I'm just joking.
Like, I hate to throw this out there, but okay, so Justin Bieber.
Oh, you are a big Justin Bieber fan, aren't you?
But what if I wasn't? What if that was a disguise to just make people think I was?
You just blew my mind twice. It'd be genius. It'd be genius. Especially because he's such a big pop culture icon. It's going to grab attention.
But I am really a fan. But I mean, but what if like my fascination with him was hiding like a fascination with something else? Because most people are like, oh, I can't believe you have a crush on this kid and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but what if it's like a cover up for what I actually am into?
So kind of like a metaphor or, okay. That's I've never heard someone. No, that's crazy.
So it allows
awesome.
me to study people
Right.
further by their responses to me by throwing this out there. So I'm
Such a
actually
popular
using
topic.
social media as a experiment as well. So
Your own psychological experiment. That might be turned into some type of. You might be the founder of one of the first psychological social networks. I can
just
see
wait
it.
till I finish this project I'm working on.
The screenplay or a
Yes.
different project?
The screenplay.
Okay. Looking forward to that. We got a few more minutes here. What can we expect from you in 2013? I know you got a lot of projects going on. You're very active out in the Vegas community. What can we expect from Khalilah Yasmin?
I really want to work with more people. I want to do more work in LA. I would like to do more behind the film, in front of the film. I like to do more acting. I used to do a lot of skits with a friend of mine. He would film them and we'd both act in them. I'd love to do some of that. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So I want to work with more people.
Work with more people. I like it. I like it. Where can people find you? Where can we?
So I'm going to have to spell this. I've branded myself, so everything is Khalilah Yasmin. So my name is spelled Khalilah, and then Yasmin, Yasmin. And I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. That's my website. That's my SoundCloud. It's all Khalilah Yasmin. So if you can find Khalilah Yasmin, you can find me anywhere.
We're good to go. And what's all up on your website? What can we expect to find there?
I want to do more interviews on my website. I have blogs there, experiences I've had, poetry, couple pictures. I try not to make it more about the modeling, but that's like what's opened doors for me, so I can't deny it.
Right. So modeling's pretty much just another portal for you.
Modeling's paying my bills.
Right. Well, and you never know who you're going to meet, especially in Las Vegas. You never know. Could we got a couple more minutes. Could you kind of just tie in being in Las Vegas for what you do, the advantage of that?
That's what I love about Las Vegas. It's the transient city. Like, you never know. When you leave the house, you never know who you're going to run into. In Nebraska, I pretty much knew who I was going to meet for the day. The Starbucks guy. Like, that was the line. Here, you never know. You never know. Everyone comes to Vegas at some point.
So you never know who you're
including
gonna
Justin
meet.
Bieber.
Have you ever seen him live?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I met him 3 times last year.
Really? All in Vegas?
Mm-hmm. All in Vegas.
Wow. I got to go check out one of his concerts. Now, Justin Bieber, what started why do you like him so much? What started all that?
He used social media. Social media is what made Justin Bieber Justin Bieber. If it wasn't for social media and YouTube, he wouldn't be Justin Bieber.
That's a very good point because a lot of people, I think, he just blew up, got lucky out of nowhere. But if they do their research, they were putting in a lot of work before, he ran into Scooter Braun and Usher and all that. To go into radio stations, marketing himself. All right, what's the documentary they did?
Never Say Never.
Never Say Never.
And the way that is filmed, that just shows like how social media influences and how it's just made this big star. I'm just fascinated with his story. I mean, granted, he does have talent, but it's the story and the merging of social media that just makes it so profound.
Wow. You've given us a lot to think about today. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Be sure to check her out, KhalilahYasmin.com, and be sure to check us out at LasVegasSocialMediaShow.com. Khalilah, thank you.
Thank you.
On the next episode of the Las Vegas Social Media Show.
Right up top! There we go. Can't miss it with that. Well, why is that? Because she's working, buddy.
Big person in social media, Jessica Northey.
Hello. Hey, I'm Jessica Northey, and when I'm in Vegas, or, I don't even have to be in Vegas, I can be anywhere in the world, I like to watch the Las Vegas Social Media Show.